So you can see, I think, that a number of these principles are really important to ICH. Number 5 encourages collaboration, which is very important. 7 gives us that focus on local identity, and often in terms of ICH, that's what we're looking at. 12 makes this specific reference to intangible cultural heritage. I think this idea of a focus on local pride and sense of place is really important, because I think many aspects of that local pride and ideas about sense of place are embodied in the intangible. So let me show you some Ecomuseum examples, because I hope this will help to clarify some of the things that I've been talking about. I want to show you Soga in Guizhou in China, which was the first Ecomuseum to be developed in China. I want to show you Santa Cruz in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Hirano-Cho Ecomuseum in Japan, and Carmagnola in Italy. This is a fairly remote village in Guizhou in China, and it was selected as the first ecomuseum development in the country. Now, if you were to look at this, you haven't been there, but can you see ideas of intangible? The dress that the women are wearing is very special. It's very particular. It's these people are Miao, they're Qing Miao, and they have their own particular textile designs. So that's one obvious feature. What else do you think? Even just looking at the picture. There's one element in there which is pretty weird. Yeah, that's right. It's this lady in the middle. Can you see she's got this, what looks like a pair of ox horns sticking out of her head? Okay, well this is very much sort of part of local culture. And the older ladies, the older women in the community, wear these all the time. Not, in fact, many of the younger people. And this is obviously very much a part of their tradition. You know, they have this very, very close link, you know, with the natural environment, and clearly it's a very sort of animistic religion that they tend to follow, and a very close link to rural life. The ox horn also has a really important purpose, and that's this. This is the special headdress that the Miao wear when they are celebrating special occasions. So this is a young girl wearing this incredible network of wool, actually. It's skeins of wool which are woven around the ox horn. And I've watched them do this. I've watched them actually sort of put these things on, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. But you know, it's a very, very interesting, you know, bit of intangible culture, I think. So you can see that, you know, there are features here that, you know, if you had the opportunity, maybe you come along and say, well, this is a really special place. Let's create an eco-museum here. There are, you know, things here which are really interesting. I find it a fascinating place, and this, in fact, is the headquarters of the Ecomuseum. The local girls here are skipping. You can't see the rope in my photograph, but they're playing skipping games in the courtyard. And that's mainly what the courtyard is used for. Let me tell you a little bit about how this place originated, because it's actually really interesting, and I think gives you an indication of some of the issues that I have with this particular eco-museum development. This idea came from central government in China, and particularly from the Chinese Association of Museums, and a group of people there who'd seen eco-museum development in other countries. They were approached, in fact, by the Norwegian government, and Norway had been developing eco-museums for a number of years. And they saw that there was a way here of using Norwegian overseas aid to fund this first eco-museum development. And in doing so, really help this particular community, which is a very poor one. I mean, people who live there have got very, very little. Very, very high child mortality, very low levels of educational achievement. So the Chinese government and the Norwegian government came together. They put in a lot of money into developing this eco-museum in this remote part of China. So they put in completely new housing. So you saw the old housing in the previous slide. They built a school, they built a hospital, they put in piped water, they put in sewerage, they put in new roads, completely new infrastructure, to really, if you like, open up this place to the outside world. And so what you've got here is that it actually followed the model of the Ecomuseum that was used in Norway. So you create a documentation center, you create a traditional museum, and that's it, really. And people can come to those, and then they can wander around the village and explore things for themselves. And this model has been repeated in different parts of China. You have a documentation center, you have a museum, and then a network of places that you can visit. Which all sounds great. And when I went there for the first time, I went on an official visit. It was the first international eco-museums meeting to be held in China. And I went there, and there was a great deal of ceremony and parade and all the rest of it. And this was sort of shown off as being something that was a great development. And for the local people, in a way, it was, because I remember, some local people coming up to me and saying, "It's wonderful to have water. We've got a tap I can turn on and I can get water." So clearly, the infrastructure part was very, very important.